Hello everyone, it's Annette. Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to make a quick card using a stencil with an oval shape cut out. Now I don't have any oval shaped stencils, so I made one. And just real quickly, I just pulled a piece of cardstock and then I used my Hero Arts Infinity dies in the oval shapes, the nested shapes. And I just selected a size that will fit onto a panel. And this is the one I went with. So I just took this die and cut out a piece on a piece of brown cardstock. And then to preserve this cardstock so it lasts longer, I used some Ranger Distress Collage Medium Matte, and I just brushed it on both sides, a couple good coats. And I did this a while ago. And then you just let it dry, and it puts a protective coating on it, and you can ink blend and then wipe it off, and you can use it over and over. But if you have an oval shape or a square shape or a circle shape or any shape stencil, you can certainly use that. But I just wanted to show you how you can make your own if you don't have one already in your collection. So let me just get that out of the way. I just wanted to show you that real quick. And then, so this is the stencil we're going to use, and this is our card panel. And I'm going to ink blend a sunset just in using that circle. So let me grab a piece of scrap paper here. And to line this up, I just basically kind of eyeball it. And you can do it one of two ways. When I adhere my panels onto a matte layer, I just kind of eyeball it and make sure I have even margins around the side. So I'm just kind of, instead of doing it this way and lining it up, I am going to reverse it like this and just line it up like this. And if it isn't exactly perfect, I can always trim the edges later. But I think that will be good. Maybe over a tad. Maybe like that. And then I am going to take some mint tape and just tape that down so it doesn't move. I do not want the stencil to move at all while I'm ink blending. So I'll just tape it on all sides. Okay. And then you can flip it over. And there you have your work surface right there. So to do the ink blending, I pulled some Gina K inks, and I put them in rainbow order, meaning these inks that are side by side will blend together. The pink will blend into the purple and the orange into the pink and things like that. Like I wouldn't want to put, I wouldn't really want to put the yellow and the blue next to each other because that would probably create like a brown. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and I want to do the lightest color. So I'll do the, this is sweet corn, and then I'll work my way up and ending in, I believe this is blue denim. Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to flip it this way because it's just easier for me. And just take your blending brush, and I need to get a paper towel. Hold on. I always try to have everything ready, but I always seem to forget something. And then I just want to take the paper towel and whatever ink I had on my blending brush, I'm just going to rub it off. You don't really need to wash these brushes, just wipe off whatever ink was on there. And then I'm just going to put some ink on my brush. And then what you want to do is when you're ink blending, I find it's easier to always just start doing a circular motion onto the stencil and then bringing it in, instead of starting onto the cardstock. Because if you just put your brush down, you're going to get a little just a little blob. So you don't want that. So I just start off onto the card or onto the stencil and come up, and then just come up and blend it up on the edge a little bit. Okay, and then I want to darken that up just a little bit. And since I have 5 colors, I want to be mindful of that. I don't want to bring this up too high because I'm going to bring on the coral reef next. Okay, so that's it for the sweet corn, and I can always go back if I need to, but let's bring in coral reef. And get some on there. Now this is super saturated, this ink pad, so I just want to make sure I don't come in too heavy. And here I'm going to come in off the side and just bring in that color and blend it into the sweet corn and up the side just a little bit and go back and then bring it down just a little bit into that sweet corn. Okay. I'm just going to bring that in a little bit deeper. And Gina K's inks have a nice smoothing agent. When they dry back, they really look nice. All right, the next color is Bubblegum Pink. All right. So bring that kind of in the middle. All right. Again, starting off on the side, bringing it in. And then blend it right down into the orange. You can see that sunset starting to form. Okay. And here's the part that I really like, because once you start adding the darker colors, you really start to see it. So this color is Wild Lilac. Okay. And again, we're going to start onto the side and bring it in. Bring it right down into that bubble gum. And then finally we will do blue denim for that really deep dark sky, that night sky. I'm gonna flip my stencil. Whoops, oh boy, it came untaped, but I think we're still good. I'm just gonna wipe that off a little bit. I think we're still good. Okay, just bring that down. Bring that down into the purple, and I'm really gonna make it dark at the top. I really want it to be like a night sky. You could even bring this down a little further. That always looks nice. Blend it in. You could bring in a darker blue or a navy if you have a darker color. You know, and just hit the top. But I just find for me, just adding more ink works just fine. Just like that. And I'm just going to pull that down. Okay. Then I'm just going to wipe my stencil off a little bit. And then we can go ahead and take that off. And there you have your grounding panel, which I really like. And make sure you don't have any ink on your fingers, which I do. So I'm just going to take some alcohol and spray my hands off and wipe them off. Just some rubbing alcohol that I keep in a spray bottle at my desk. Get those wiped off. And just get rid of all this inky stuff, and then I'll just wipe this off later. And then I want to take the tape off of my panel, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you can save it and use it again. A lot of times I'll just put it right onto my die cutting machine to tape down my dies before I cut them. All right, I am going to flip this over now. Okay, so there's our really pretty panel. And what I want to do next is, I think I'm going to take some black ink and just do a very light ink splat across there. So let me do that. Get my splat box. Actually, I'm going to get rid of these inks just to make some room because we are done with those. Whoops. Done with the inks for now. And then let's go ahead and put this panel in the splat box. And I'm going to use Gina K's Black Onyx ink. And where's my acrylic block? I'm going to put some down on an acrylic block. Just a little bit. It doesn't really take a whole lot. I'm going to put a little bit of water on it, just from a water bottle. And then I'm going to take a, let's see, this is a number 8. That might be a little bit too big. Let's just do a number 2 round paintbrush. And we'll just get some of that black ink on it. And again, I don't want a whole lot. I want this to be very delicate. I don't even know if that's gonna splat. Oh, it is. Okay. All right, and then I just kind of want to do a little bit of splattering from one corner on a diagonal. So we'll just actually, that's all I'm gonna do. It's just that little subtleness just adds some interest. I like that. All right, hopefully you can see that. I'm not really zoomed in that well, but let me grab another paper towel and get this out of the way. And then we're going to do some stamping on this and then put the card together. It's really simple. These ink blended backgrounds just add a lot, I think. I think they just make quick, beautiful cards. They're very easy to do. All right, so now I'm going to bring in my mini-Misti, and we're going to put the panel right into the corner, I believe. We'll just put it right down into the bottom corner. And I have a Waffle Flower Grip Mat inside my mini-Misti, and that's going to hold my card panel in place. All right, and then we're going to pull in Gina K Designs photopolymer stamps, and this one is called Warm Spring Wishes, and I love this stamp that has the little bird cages, and I'm going to use the congratulations on your new home. I'm going to use those 2 stamps, so let me get those out. And I'm going to place this one down first, and I think the greeting, I'll dip it down into the white, but I'm going to stamp these one at a time. So let's get this lined up. And I want part of the bird cage to come out of the oval, and that's okay. It's kind of the look I'm aiming for. And I'm gonna have to tilt it just to make sure I have that straight, and that looks pretty good. So just close the door of the Misti and pick up the stamp. And then again, I'm using the Gina K Designs black Onyx ink. And just ink up your stamp. Ink it up really, really well. Sometimes I put my hand underneath it just to give me some leverage. Turn that upside down. All right, and then just drop the door down, and you don't want to press down too hard. Just lightly give some pressure, and I'll give that ink a chance to transfer onto the cardstock. You might have to do it again. My mat is just slipping all over the place, so I'm going to put this rubberized piece underneath, and I think that'll help. All right, I'm going to definitely have to ink that again. Let me see if I can zoom in here for you. There we go. All right. Okay, I think that is exactly what I wanted. Now we're going to wipe this stamp off and clean it off and put it away. And I'm using a Gina K Designs tidy towel. It's just a dampened towel. It's kind of like a chamois. And I just rinse it once a week, but then I keep it in a little Ziploc container. Works very well. Put that stamp away, and then we'll put the greeting right down here. We'll have some of it into the sweet corn, and the rest of it will be in the white. Just make sure that looks straight, and it does. And then I just lightly tap the ink on the greetings. I try not to smush your ink pad down too hard onto the words. or it's just going to get blotchy. And just a light press. Just very lightly, just tap the ink onto the card. You just want nice, crisp, clean lines, just like that. Okay. All right. So we'll get our stamps put away because we're done with the stamping. And we are done with this. Get this out of the Misti. And I'll try to clean up my surface a little bit. And then I'm just going to adhere this onto a matte layer. And I don't think I said this, but I always have the measurements in my description. But my panels, the panel size I like to use for a US A2 is 3¼ inch by 5 inch. And then the matte layer I use is 4 inch by 5¼ inch. And we're just going to use some Gina K Connect glue and glue this panel down onto the mat. Make sure the sides are glued up, and then just again eyeball that so there's even margins around all 4 sides. Before I commit, I need to look at this straight on. Oh, I need to bring that down a little bit. Sometimes it's hard for me when I'm not looking straight down onto the card, so I'm going to just pull this down a little bit off camera so I can see better. Okay, that looks better. Okay, and then I have a piece of cardstock that's 110 pound. Now these 2 pieces are 65 pound weight. I don't use a heavier cardstock because if I use a heavier cardstock, like if I use 110 for the panel and for the matte layer, that's going to get really thick. And then when you add it to this, it just makes a very thick card. So I like 65 pound weight for the panel and the matte. And then I like the heavier cardstock, 110 pound and higher for the card base, because that's just a nice sturdy piece of cardstock. And it's just a sheet of cardstock 8½ by 11. You cut it in half at 4¼ and fold it at 5½. And then we'll glue the card front to the card base, and just again add some glue around all 4 corners, or 4 sides I should say. And you can make a little smile face if you want. And then just plop that down, even margins on all sides. Okay. And there you have it. A quick, easy card to welcome somebody or congratulate somebody on their new home. And you can add little gems, and I might do that. If I do, you know, I'll always take a picture and put it at the end of this video, but you might see some gems on here. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you give it a try. And you know what? If you don't have stencils, make your own. It's super easy, and you can use them over and over. Be sure to visit my website, ascarddesign.com. Join me every week. I post a video every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow it, so come along, join us if you'd like. I'd love to have you. Until next week, make it a great day.